So a common complaint I've heard from I think even PlayStation fans has been that there hasn't been a roadmap of first party content from Sony, especially when it concerns single player things. And while I can understand that, I sort of question the validity of that complaint because I'm asking myself as a gamer, what does knowing that a game is coming ahead of time, especially when it is far into the future, what does that do for me? And for me, it does nothing. Like, all it does is just bring frustration. Because when I think about certain examples, for example, Pragmata, revealed, I think, in 2020 PlayStation Showcase, what has that done for me? Like, sure, I know that it's coming, but I can't play it. So, as a gamer, what does that do? So, here's what I mean. We know that at the end of 2023, this year, we are going to receive Spider-Man 2. That's kind of like the big flagship, kind of like finale for PlayStation. I think we're still supposed to get Helldivers 2 at some point, but that could have been delayed by now. Who knows? But those are kind of like the two that are on the block. Then starting off next year, we've been told that we're gonna get Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is, kind of a great way to start the year, especially if it hits around like January or February. That would be fantastic. But then beyond that, things get a little bit murky. Now we have some indication, they've told us about, Concord and Fair Games and a lot of these other games, especially the games as a service type of games. But I think a lot of people really want to know what's coming single player wise. And again, I can understand the curiosity, but for me, I am beyond tired of games being announced 5 to 6 years out. Even 3 years out is too much for me. If you ask me, a game should be officially announced and then released within 18 months. The shorter the better. Like, if you could shadow drop every game, that would be fantastic for me. Especially if it would be great, because then as soon as you hear about it, you're excited, you can just go and play it. That would be fantastic. But I think having a little bit of a delay kind of makes sense. You've got to get the marketing up, you've got to get public awareness of your product. Nobody wants to spend years and years and years working on something and then just drop it out of the blue, because that's not going to necessarily get the response that you want out of the game. So for me then, I'm definitely thinking, like 6 months kind of sounds reasonable. Like, you could market a big IP within 6 months, but probably something like a pregnant pause, something like 9 months probably makes more sense. So then 18 months for me is like the worst case scenario. Like, if you tell me about your game 2 3 years out, what does that do for me? Like, what's the point of that? I'd rather not know. To be honest, I would rather not know. We all know that these studios are working on these games consistently, constantly. That's their job. It's the entire, reason for existing. So needing to be told that some game is going to come in 2025 or 2026, I just don't see the purpose of that. Like, sure, on Twitter, when you are talking about the console war, I guess, and you're just having list wars, you can just list a bunch of games, then I guess that can do something. But as a gamer, that does nothing for you. So I just wanted to make a little bit of a case for my argument here. So let me show you this. So over here, we have the PlayStation 5 showcase in 2020. This is the one that revealed the console, I believe. So yeah, it was and everything. But let's take a look at a few of these games. Now, the majority of these games have actually come out by now. But when we're talking about something like Goodbye Volcano High, which just came out at the end of August this year, that was, what, 3 years, essentially? Because it was revealed in 2020 and then it revealed in 2023. And it's like, by the time it came out, I forgot about it, even though I was interested. And I feel like a lot of other people did, because I'm just not seeing a lot of conversation. Granted, it was always going to be a niche indie title, but it kind of shows you the downside of releasing or announcing your game too early. Even the few people you would have caught on that net, the attention has drifted and they've moved on. So then we have this one here, Pragmata. So Pragmata by Capcom, I think it is billed as pretty much a AAA experience, and it's been delayed out of this year again, and that is just beyond frustrating, and I'm gonna get you why in a second. Then we have the 2021 showcase, And over here, sorry for the highlighting, but we have Project Eve, okay, which I think is Stellar Blade now. And why is that done? Like nothing. It's 2021, it was revealed. I would rather have found out about it during the last PlayStation Showcase in 2023. It would have had a name, Stellar Blade. It would have had the visuals. And it would have had a much closer release date, hopefully, right? Because this game could still be, 2026 for all we know. But that does nothing for me. And then finally over here, we have Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Now, a word on the street is that this one here has been rebooted from the beginning because the development studio they were working with, I don't know, something went wrong. It doesn't really matter, things go on these projects all the time. That's fine. Internal delays happen all the time. That's fine. But that's fine when there are internal delays. How can you come out and present something, especially something as beloved as this game was, and then you essentially have to start it over again? Why wouldn't you wait to present it once you're confident that you can actually deliver on the product? I don't want to see any more vertical slices, guys. Like, I don't want to see any more like in-engine simulated on PC to console performance, concept art, like I mean, I'm gonna get onto this, but Everwild from Xbox, the developers literally said that they didn't know what that game was after showing it. It's like, why show it? No one forced you to show it. No one asked you to. So by the time that you come and you actually show it, I want a certain guarantee that I'm going to get the product that you're talking about. Let's continue. So over here we have the 2023 showcase. And I know the 2023 showcase is, clearly falling within the 18-month, grace period that I've given it. So I'm not going to go too hard on it, but I will talk about sort of the type of reveals that they had. Over here we have Concord, okay? So what is that? Anyone? What is Concord? What is that supposed to do for me? Nothing. I think that was the one with the sandwiches, and fantastic. We can have sandwiches now, I guess, as reveal. That does nothing. Then we have Marathon by Bungie, which you do a little bit of history, you do a little bit of research, and then you find out that it used to be like an IP that they had, but that was like 20 years ago or more. That does nothing for me. That does nothing. I want to see something more concrete. So yes, when you announce, I will allow a title screen, like God of War Ragnarok, that was a title screen. I will allow a JPEG for games and projects that I know how they are going to play. Marvel Spider-Man 2, great. Reveal it as a title screen. Reveal Marvel Spider-Man 3, title screen, no problem. Because we have a great indication of the type of flavor that we're going to get. The people that didn't like Marvel Spider-Man, the first one, they know, depending on the reasons why they didn't like it, that there's a good possibility that they won't like this one either. The people that adored it, like I did, are going to be pretty sure that they are going to adore the next project because we understand what the game is. But then let's take a look at something like Foam Stars. Now, you can understand this from the Nintendo world, that is going to be like some kind of Splatoon lookalike and everything, or copycat. But I've never played Splatoon. I don't understand what the gameplay is like. And then they did more in their defense. They did more than just have like a splash screen. But again, we have no idea when this is coming. So it's like, I'll give you the grace period. I'll give you to about, I guess, what is that, like 2025, because it was revealed towards the middle of the year. So up to the start of 2025, I'll give you the grace period, but we need to know this. We need to have a release date, and we need to have better gameplay, to be honest. And then finally, we have, of course, the biggest culprit of them all, Fair Games, which was a tragic reveal. Now, this game could turn out to be good, could turn out to be great, but the reveal of it was absolutely terrible. No idea what the game is, no idea when it's coming. I know it's coming to PlayStation 5 and PC. I have no idea what it is. I have no idea if I'm going to pay for it, or if it's a freemium experience, if it's going to have microtransactions. No idea at all how the game works. And this is what I hate about these roadmaps and this clamoring that gamers nowadays seem to have about it. Because it's like, what does that do? What does that do? So, for me, here's the analogy. imagine that you are there, you're home one day, you're playing your game, so you're just cooking in the kitchen, okay? And then your partner, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, I guess whatever, just comes and they're just like hot, she's got that coconut oil, all over her body, she's got that coconut glow oil, she's got that shea butter on her lips, she's just there, she's made up, she's wearing something so scantily clad that it might as well not be there, but yet somehow it's more exciting that it is there. She takes her pose against the wall, and you just drop whatever you were doing. You're like, oh my god, fuck these games, fuck these dishes, fuck these nails I was cutting, whatever it is you were doing. You're going out there preparing to mow the lawn, it doesn't matter. You're like, yes, I'm gonna get onto that. And then as soon as you go up, you're about to jump her and devour her. She says, you can have this in 5 weeks. What does that do for you? Nothing. That does nothing for you. It's like, yeah, listen, I'm glad that you're looking great, but if I can't have you, if I can't play with you right now, why did you come and announce yourself in this way for me? No. You should be able to say, like, at worst, you can have me in 5 minutes, not 5 weeks. And then, this is the life of a gamer. Of course, we can't just have her in 5 weeks. When 5 weeks come, she'll tell you, oh, my mom needs to go out of town. I have to drive her. Okay. Oh, my work needs me to go and attend this conference. Okay. Oh, actually, listen, I thought I could make it, but for whatever reason, I just can't. Sorry, you're going to have to wait again. So now it's been 9 weeks. And you know what? 9 weeks later, she's like, tonight's the night. Here's the release date. And you're like, yes, finally. And then she comes out and she's wearing those yoga shorts. And then she's just wearing like a onesie. And you're like, what the fuck is this? And she's like, what? You can have me. You're like, that's not what I wanted. When you presented yourself, you had the whole get up. You had the coconut glow. Where's the coconut glow? Where's the shea butter on the lips? Where's the makeup? Where's everything? Where's the perfumes? You had like 7 perfumes. You were smelling good. Now you just smell like milk. What is this? It's not what I signed up for. It's not what you promised. And that is the life of a gamer. They come out with all of these whiz-bang showcases with visuals and everything else. And then they tell you, you're going to have to wait 5 years anyway. And then by the time the 5 years come, everything's been downgraded. That's the roadmap that gamers want to have. Why? I don't get it. So, worst examples of these guys, you know what it is. You know it's Xbox, okay? Because this was the 2020 showcase with Halo Infinite. Remember the terrible gameplay? Avowed. Avowed is a perfect example of what I just described. When it came out, remember how great it looked? It was looking hot. It was looking ready for you. It was like oiled up. You were just going to slip and slide in there. Then it came out and it was Sea of Thieves. It was disavowed. Avowed is that example. It's a partner that is hot and ready for you, makes you wait 5 weeks, and then doesn't even show up the way that she used to on that night. Then we have Fable. Fable, I think, looks better than it did when it was first revealed, because the first reveal was basically just fluff. So I like the way that it's been presented. But it's been 3 years and we still don't have a release date. So what did knowing that Fable was coming for the last 3 years do for you? It did nothing. Just anticipation followed by frustration. That's it. Forza Motorsport. That's supposed to be coming this year. But again, it was announced 3 years ago. It would have been much better if it had been announced a year ago in the 2022 showcase. And then you received it at the end of this year. So much better. Then you have, I don't know about Fantasy Star Online. Over here, Stalker 2. Now, Stalker 2, I think there's real world reasons as to why this game didn't come. But again, that's not to penalize Xbox nor the developer for this. That is to say, once more, knowing that this game was coming all those years ago has done nothing, because as a gamer, you want to play the game. Knowing that the game is coming does nothing if the game is going to take 5, 6, 7 years to get there. This is something that PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, and many other developers outside of that have all done. You know, you have Cyberpunk, what was it, 7 years or something since from announcement to thing. And Cyberpunk is again a perfect example of that. When Cyberpunk was presenting itself, it was the most erotic, visuals you could ever have as a gamer. Like, your gamer burner was hard, stiff as a mast. And then by the time that it came out, it was frumpy, it was lumpy, it was bumpy, and not in the right places, And so what did knowing about Cyberpunk 7 years beforehand do for you? Nothing. Just build this anticipation, build this hype, and then massive disappointment. So finally, the worst example of them all, Everwild. It is wild what they've done with Everwild. This is a game that they presented with a fantastic looking trailer, and then the developers told you that they didn't know what type of a game it was yet. And this then brings me to the why. Why is that okay? Why is it okay for a company to put out a product and we have no idea what it is? They have no idea what it is, but no one asked them to. Why didn't they keep Everwild in the talk, figure it all out, and then present it 18 months or less before release? So that's my final argument. That's my final point. This entire notion that a showcase is somehow a demand, a necessity, even when they have nothing worth showing us, because announcing things too early does nothing for us, I think it's entirely flawed, and I'm tired of hearing that in the gaming industry. You can desire, yes, to know what is upcoming, but only with the caveat that you only want to know if it is actually going to be the product that you receive, and you're going to receive it in a timely fashion. And yes, if those two things are not guaranteed, both of those two things have to be guaranteed. If either one is not guaranteed, then it's better for you not to know. It's better for me not to know anyway. So that's it. That's my argument. I'm tired of the demands that people have for a showcase that will be nothing but fluff and nothing but uninteresting. I will put the PlayStation 2023 showcase, I'll put that, as far as first party titles go, I'll put it in that bag, because the things they did show were not substantial enough for me to even know what a product is, And so, yeah, I'm frustrated. I think it's a frustrating thing, and I wish that gamers would stop, would start demanding better. Don't give us a showcase unless you have concrete things to show. Don't give us a showcase unless those concrete things that you've shown are actually going to release within a timely fashion. Otherwise, just delay. Better for us not to